Okay, after having read every day for, well over 1,000 days now, it's been several years, today I should be reading On Religion, a Dialogue by Arthur Schopenhauer. But I've already read it. I've already read all of this in a video which I shall link at the end of this video. It's quite a long listen. I think it's about half an hour or something like that. But it is well worth it. I remember reading this for myself, and for me Schopenhauer perfectly nails the difference between religion and philosophy, or the similarities, I should say, really. Or yeah, both points are equally valid. Yeah, really insightful. Earlier in my life, I should do a little bit of reflection here so I can pad the video out to get the link in at the end, but earlier in my life I was very firmly atheist, and I suppose probably around the time I started to read Chesterton I began to soften to the idea of religion, realising that it's not all awful. Obviously I've only really looked into Christianity. I have read the Bible cover to cover, the whole thing, Old and New Testament. But yeah, for me, after reading this passage in Schopenhauer, it really opened, or I found myself agreeing with absolutely everything that was uttered there, and that's very much where I stand at present with my ideas of religion. I think logically they're flawed still. But and Schopenhauer realizes this as well in his dialogues, is that religion, although it's logically flawed, it does have the ability to, for your average person who is not going to spend time thinking about why they're here, or etc., which is where I sort of came at it from an idealist point of view. As I get older, it's just the fact that most people don't really care about more than what's going to happen, within their next day, sort of thing. And that's where a belief system, like religion offers, can be very good for those rituals, etc., to improve the overall moral or wealth or worth of a society. I think that's also something that has been very played a huge role in the sort of moral degradation of modern society, as I don't know, less and less people go to church or believe in the stories, and so that moral compass, which I must also point out, under real logical scrutiny, does not add up. But generally, most people's sort of conception of Christianity, at least, is one of good. And to be fair, it's pretty hard to fault the teachings of Jesus. He seemed like a thoroughly good chap. It's a bit harder to sort of, because he's meant to be one and the same as the God of the Old Testament, who was not such a nice chap. But again, if you're putting it into that scrutiny, then it sort of falls apart. But for your average person who just wants an easy ride, going to church would probably be a good thing for them. They wouldn't have to think too much. They could just go, yeah, Jesus was good, I want to be good. And then overall it would improve the moral worth of society. And I think Schopenhauer, he does grasp that very well in this dialogue that he does. But he still obviously realizes that anyone with, who really wants to, the truth of the matter, will go beyond religion and into philosophy. The crossover between philosophy and theology I find absolutely fascinating. Something that I will definitely be delving further into as my life progresses. But anyway, yeah, that's a sort of a midway catch-up, I suppose. We're about halfway through the book now. Yeah, and apart from his rampant misogyny, which is probably the weakest part of his thinking in my mind, he does have some very good points, even if he is a miserable old bugger. So that should just about do this video. I'll have the link to the full dialogue here if you want to watch it, and I really suggest you do, especially if you're interested in either religion, philosophy, or indeed the sort of moral framework which binds our entire society together. Okay, cool. See you tomorrow.